Sound or frightening little creature juice is a pink beast. Tremendous name. In case you set it in the position where the planetary group is, it would loosen up to the circle of Jupiter. It's huge, exceptionally unstable, and around to explode. Ought to scarab squeeze likely explode at any second. Celebrity dreadful little animal juice is both stimulating and confusing. This purple, tremendous, huge name inside the Orion gathering of stars showed unusual behavior when it got fainter in late 2019 and mid-2020 than ever in over 100 years. It momentarily turned out to be nearly as slight as creepy crawly juice, Orion's third most splendid star. The astounding obscuring turned into the call given to this recurrence. Anyway, frightening little creature juice has since recovered its splendor, changing into the most splendid immense name in Orion for a few days this year, more splendid than any other time. Speculation about its coming annihilation in the form of a blast has arisen as a result of those events. At any rate, is there any proof for this thought? Will the red gigantic celebrity scarab juice explode during our lifetime? What impact would such a blast have on Earthlings like us? Be a piece of us as we track down the inclining toward the impact of the frightening little animal juice's enormous blast and the alarm from Brian Cox. Brian Cox cautions that since people may be the only sentient species in our framework, clearing out our advancement could have devastating results for the entire world. Cox jumps into the Goldilocks thought in the universe, putting accurate circumstances over billions of years that made Earth basically real for life to emerge. Regardless of the way that the star at the focal point of our planetary group has not gone through beast changes in almost 4 billion years, analysts gauge that it's part of the way through its life cycle. As of now, it changes 4 million tons of helium into energy through fusion, changing over 600 million tons of hydrogen into helium each second. This hot plasma circle is the essential power supply for life on Earth. Yet, scientists expect it will scatter in about 5 billion years, causing a fair-sized change to the universe. Furthermore, Cox disclosed how this will maybe work out inside the BBC's Wonders of the Universe series. You could concur with the universe being static. However, stars are essentially a passing component of the sky. In spite of shining brilliantly for thousands or even billions of years, their future is limited by their capacity to consume hydrogen. A star like our Sun begins to develop as it approaches passing when its hydrogen runs out. Anyway, it doesn't pass on calmly. The Sun couldn't simply dissipate immediately and inexplicably when its life closes. Its external layers will extend as its fuel runs short, and its center will fall, creating more intensity. Cox cautions that the impacts of the Sun's progressions will be felt by Earth much quicker. He explained that this could unfortunately influence our delicate planet in approximately 1 billion years. There could be one last ideal day on Earth as the planet gets more sweltering. However, in the end, all life cannot endure. The Sun will have extended to where it fills the whole horizon. Long after human existence has vanished, its last transformative stage will see it change into a red monster. Anyway, the Sun will continue to become bigger. After humankind has dissipated, our reality may not make it this far. Yet, assuming that it does, it will probably be a burned rock. In 6 billion years, our Sun will detonate, delivering huge measures of fuel and residue into space to shape a huge cloud. It will be a faint coal at its middle, a part of its previous magnificence and size, making it more modest than Earth. Our Sun will have transformed into a white diminutive person. Regardless of the way that this interaction will likely make life on Earth unthinkable, NASA's New Horizons mission pioneer, Dr. Alan Stern, has proposed that it might likewise make livable universes in the coldest areas of space. Dr. Stern thinks that any survivors might have the option to find security on Pluto and other far-off overshadow planets inside the Kuiper Belt, an area of frosty items past Neptune. These worlds' conditions will radically change as the Sun develops, changing them into potentially bearable planets. Most stars exist in a consistent state, shining with the same brilliance consistently. Anyway, there are certain exemptions. A few stars, known as variable stars, have brilliance changes. The most well-known is Mira, frequently alluded to as the star of shock. It was concentrated on in 1596 by German minister David Fabricius as a variable star. Mira is a beating star that irregularly expands and contracts. Another model is Algol, which shows infrequent eclipses from a companion star. Around 30% of these variable stars are noticeable to the unaided eye. However, it takes expertise to distinguish their changes in brilliance. You certainly know dreadful Crawley juice, regardless of whether you know the term. Is quite possibly the most splendid star found in the night sky, forming a significant part of the group of stars Orion. Frightening Crawley juice is a red giant so colossal that it could, without much of a stretch, consume Earth, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and possibly Jupiter if it were situated at the center of our nearby planetary group. It's a long way from us. However, we can in any case observe it because of its size and splendor. Around 400 light-years away by the best estimates, though this range could stretch out to 600 light-years. The most brilliant of the variable stars is frightening little animal juice, the fifth most splendid star overhead next to the Sun. Frightening little animal juice changes in splendor, now and again coming to nearly the same brightness as Rigel, the constellation's fourth most brilliant blue star. However, its fluctuations are not as strong or regular as those of Mira. The brightness variations can still be noticeable. Sometimes, a star can immediately turn exceptionally bright. These supernovae are the most brilliant and rare of such events. They might result when a star detonates brutally toward the finish of its life, potentially turning out to be bright to the point that it very well may be seen during the day. Such events have only happened a few times over the most recent 1,000 years. Astronomers fantasize about seeing a nearby supernova at a rate that only a few individuals could ever notice. We lucky beings, however, have persistently been captivated by this phenomenon. The Uber star has industriously been an enrapturing subject for cosmologists starting from the start of space science. They noted frightening little animal juice because it's so clear and simple to recognize. Therefore, we have a fair measure of understanding about it. Despite being young, under 10 million years old compared to the Sun's 4.6 billion years, tremendous red giants like frightening little animal juice have short lives because they burn through their fuel supply quickly. Consequently, in spite of this exceptional star being a child, it will soon pass on in a tremendous manner. This suggests that a star could burn out any day now, though it could exist for significantly longer than a human lifetime. Eventually, in a universe where 10 million years is just a blink, everything is relative. Anyway, researchers have long stated that frightening little animal juice's grand finale could happen at any time. Stars that are a few times as huge as our Sun tend to implode under their own weight and die once their hydrogen and helium fuel runs out. They start accumulating heavier elements in their cores, which drives them to collapse and reach ever higher temperatures and densities. Eventually, the star is forced to eject its outer layers into space. Through this process, some anticipate that once frightening little animal juice detonates, it will be bright to such an extent that it will resemble a second moon in the sky. Frightening little animal juice is a variable star, but in 2021, there was an exceptional dimming event. It darkened by nearly 60% in just a few months. As a result, it became clear that a cloud of gas and dust was responsible for this. Stars like frightening little animal juice are constantly shedding dust and gas. Half of the star was obscured by a mass of fuel in the wind. The star's images showed that its southernmost part was missing. Some stars, like frightening little animal juice, have weather patterns that can cause these sorts of transformations. It is now around half brighter than expected, yet we still don't know what caused the sudden dimming. Anyway, it doesn't seem likely that a massive explosion is set to happen anytime soon. These stars' variations in brilliance are a surface phenomenon. The increased brightness could be the result of the same dust cloud that caused the star's dimming, reflecting light back toward us. Still, astronomers are excited because we can't be sure when frightening little animal juice will explode. The star is 15 to 20 times as huge as the Sun, and stars with this kind of mass are expected to detonate in a spectacular way, a supernova. Since frightening little animal juice is so enormous, its life cycle is practically wrapped up. Anyway, it's still around 1 million years away from the expected explosion. For astronomers, this is a short amount of time. Stars like frightening little animal juice are still young in the grand scheme of cosmic time. This gives researchers a tight window to study it before it ends in a brilliant eruption of energy. Frightening little animal juice is perhaps one of the most captivating stars in the night sky, primarily due to its unpredictable behavior. Although it has captured the imagination of cosmologists and the general public alike, its future is filled with mystery. The star is part of the Orion constellation and is located around 600 light-years from Earth, making it one of the brightest stars visible to the unaided eye. Despite its massive span, frightening little animal juice is a red supergiant, a type of star that has depleted its stock of hydrogen fuel and expanded to a gigantic size. It's enormous to such an extent that if it were placed at the center of our planetary group, it would stretch out beyond the orbit of Jupiter. This colossal size adds to its brightness, but that brightness isn't consistent. Frightening little animal juice is a variable star, meaning its glow changes over time. It's been known to fluctuate in brightness, sometimes becoming as brilliant as Rigel, the fourth most brilliant star in the Orion constellation. In 2019 and early 2020, frightening little animal juice experienced a significant dimming event, where it became noticeably fainter for several months. This unexpected change sparked speculation among astronomers that the star was approaching the end of its life and could be on the verge of exploding as a supernova. While some speculated that the dimming was due to an enormous explosion in progress, it was later determined that the dimming in brightness was caused by a massive dust cloud being ejected from the star's surface, blocking its light from Earth. This event, known as the Great Dimming, offered valuable insights into the dynamics of massive stars and their environments. Despite the dramatic dimming, frightening little animal juice has since regained its brightness and remains one of the most studied stars. The cause of the dimming event may be related to the complex internal processes occurring within the star. These stars are known for being unstable, and their brightness can fluctuate due to various factors, including the accumulation of gas and dust on the star's surface. Frightening little animal juice is expected to eventually explode as a supernova, marking the dramatic end of its life cycle. This is a typical stage for massive stars like frightening little animal juice, which can be several times the mass of our Sun. The core of the star will collapse under its own gravity, and the outer layers will be expelled into space in a violent explosion. When this happens, it will briefly outshine the entire galaxy, possibly even becoming visible during the day on Earth. Such events are rare but significant because they contribute to the creation of heavier elements, which are essential for the formation of planets and new stars. Astronomers continue to closely monitor frightening little animal juice using advanced telescopes to observe its behavior and gather data that will help them understand the processes that lead to a supernova. They are especially interested in studying the star's mass, distance, and the specific mechanisms behind its periodic dimming. Despite its eccentric nature, frightening little animal juice remains a major subject of study for astronomers. The star provides a glimpse into the life cycle of massive stars and offers valuable information about stellar evolution, supernovae, and the formation of elements in the universe. As it approaches the end of its life, frightening little animal juice will likely continue to captivate both scientists and the general public, holding the potential for one of the most spectacular celestial events ever witnessed.